What's going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Kai, and today I wanted to come back to you guys and talk a little bit about my video that I previously posted about Kenneka, and talk to you guys about some of the comments. Well, address some of the comments that have been made. I first and foremost want to thank everybody who has supported my channel and everybody who has provided constructive criticism as far as knowledge behind the whole situation that I may have missed prior to making this video. I definitely want to thank you guys for providing me with validation and information in which help answer some of my questions as well, but also by broadening my knowledge behind the situation. So unfortunately, there were a few people who just found it necessary to just be downright nasty about stuff, and not even like nasty, but I think kind of like aggressive in a way, almost to where it's kind of like they're trying to pretty much, rather than help me or inform me, pretty much attack me for not knowing, if that makes any sense. So I wanted to address them because, if you got a problem with something, the best way to handle it is, you go straight on to the person in which you feel there may be a problem. Okay? So my previous video was about the basics. I wanted to understand why was the small crimes that had been committed that night on camera not been investigated, and or why wasn't anybody held accountable for the small criminal acts that were happening beyond the whole Kenneka Jenkins situation. The whole situation was incriminating. Everything that they did was against the law. So I was just asking in that video for a better understanding as to why, why haven't we been, why is it that these people have not been held accountable for their illegal actions? I don't understand, right? So that's basically what I was talking about in that video. If you have not watched it, you can go ahead and watch it. It should be on my channel, so you can just watch it. But the first thing that I said about this was the person who got the room, the person who the room was attached to, the name of the person who booked this room. Right? That was the first thing I wanted to understand, is why haven't they been held accountable for all of the illegal actions that took place in this room that was attached to their name? And the first thing people said was because the credit card was stolen. Nobody will be held accountable because the credit card was stolen. The credit card they used that was stolen. At the time, I did not know that that credit card was stolen. But even if, now that I do know, it makes it even worse. And by you saying that the credit card is stolen, it's almost like you confusing yourself and believing that that's a valid reasoning why nobody has been held accountable for it, for the room. But if you really think about it, and this is just, I think differently, I think very logically. The logical part of me understands why I feel that somebody should be held accountable, and the person who name is on this room should be held accountable. But I'm going to speak on logic. Logically thinking, when you telling me that somebody stole this credit card and they put it on file, whether the card was stolen, and then I heard that the card was fake. So I don't know if the card was stolen or fake, but either one doesn't matter. There had to be somebody to check in. First and foremost, protocol. Protocol is when you book a room. Doesn't matter if you're paying cash. Doesn't matter if you're paying in advance. You still have to have a credit card on file. Okay? When you place this credit card on file, they ask you for your ID. First and foremost, you have to be a certain age. I believe at the Crown Plaza, you have to be 18 or 21. The reason why they ask you for your ID is because, one, you have to be of age, and two, your ID has to match the name on the credit card placed on file. Okay? Should your name not match the credit card placed on file, what they have to do, this is protocol, do your research, look it up. they have to ask you to present a credit card at the time so that they are able to show that you have a major credit card in your name for one of the major credit card companies in your name, and that matches your ID. They may at the time switch the card on file and use it as a third party credit card, as far as the other person's card, or let's say I'm using my aunt's card, okay, and when I present my ID, her name shows up on that card. They're going to ask me, well, do you have a card or a credit card, major credit card, with your name on it? I will present them that. Therefore, this will be the primary card on file, and my aunt's card will be the third party card on file, or if you want to say the secondary card on file. But the primary card will be in my name because it is me that has agreed to be held responsible and liable for anything that happens in this room. My aunt is not legally liable at that point for anything that happens in that room, okay? So when you present a credit card or you present your ID, if it does not match, those are the steps that was supposed to be taken. Now, let's say that they did take those steps, and this person, whoever got this room, presented an ID that matched the name on the credit card. One, that's identity theft, okay? Point blank, period. Two, you have now illegally created an ID to match the card in which you've stolen. That's a law in itself. That's against the law in itself, okay? Secondly, if the card was fake, let's just say that the card was fake and there was no money on this card and it did match the name on the person's ID, but it just didn't really have no money on the card. That is not illegal. However, nonetheless, you booked this room. You are now legally stating, when you provide them that and you agree to the terms and conditions of the swap, they get your money and you get a room. This is a swap. When you agree to the terms and condition of this exchange, you've just agreed to be held accountable and held liable for anything that may be broken, stolen, or anything that may happen that comes out of this room, okay, prior to you being there. So if you were there, when you were there, they checked this room for bed bugs, but then when you left, now all of a sudden it has bed bugs, they will, or they can legally hold you accountable for that. Okay, this is just logical thinking. This is common sense. So it doesn't matter. It was definitely unnecessary for people to even say that the car was stolen, because it doesn't matter. Does not matter. They still have on camera the person who checked in for that room. Okay, that's the bottom line. That is the bottom line. Before you even got in this room, you committed a criminal act. So again, why does it matter if the car was stolen or not? It does not. But I appreciate some of you who just informed me and was basically just trying to let me know, like, hey, the car was stolen, but blah 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 blah, you go in and you're talking about something else, rather than the people that were just straight up like this. How are you saying that anybody should be held accountable, and if they use a stolen credit card? You need to look at more videos and you would know. Another person said the room was held with a stolen credit card, so that person should not be held accountable. What? Like, I really seriously want to know, do people read out loud their comments before you like push post? Because that just doesn't make any sense. You basically just said the car was stolen, so why would they be held accountable for the stolen credit card? Let's make sense of this. The person whose name is on the card, if it is stolen, and the person whose name is on the card knows that their card is stolen, okay? And if it is a stolen card, let's just say this: if the card is stolen, the hotel has advised that the card was stolen. All right. So technically, they know that this is not the person whose on this card. They know that the person whose name is on this card never purchased this room, and the person whose name is on this card most likely were not even there that night. You know, so technically they already know that. There's no reason for them to even believe that they should attack the person whose name is on the card. They already know who they need to come after. That's just like saying, well, you got robbed from the person, but they gave their grandma your card, so the person who robbed you should not be held accountable for the grandma using the card. Well, had you not robbed me and given the card to your grandma, then your grandma wouldn't have had access to my card. So you need to be held accountable as well, if that makes any sense. Okay, I can't explain it any further because it's just common sense. It's just common sense, people. Then there was another comment made that I want to address, and I'm not going to address a lot of these comments. I'm just going to do this last one here, because the rest of it is just basically people, you know, explaining to me what was found about the videos and who worked at the hotel prior to getting this room and all this other stuff, right? The thing about this comment is that I'm about to read it's so annoying. It's so fucking annoying to me. And either this person that commented this, and this was recently, like a few hours ago, either this person who commented this is a part of these people, you know, or are part of these people, or part of this group, or associated in some shape, form, or fashion to people that were at this hotel, or you're literally just ignorant. And if you're just ignorant, you should just, instead of investing time on YouTube trying to figure out what people are saying about Kenneka, you should invest some time into getting some mental help. Because clearly, this is, I don't understand. So she says to me, she says, no, nowhere in the videos does it show anyone giving Kenneka a drink. Because I said, and what I said, the reason why she's saying is because what I said was, we seen the girl making a drink. We seen the girl walk up and, you know, give the drink to Kenneka. And nowhere before that did we see her drinking, and nowhere after that did we see Kenneka drinking. And so you took it upon yourself to make it a point that nobody actually handed Kenneka a drink. Nobody actually handed her the cup. Nobody actually saw her walk her ass in that freezer either, but we definitely know she didn't. So it doesn't matter whether or not in the video they show the girl handing Kenneka the cup and giving her the drink, or whether or not the girl swapped out the drink, or the girl headed over there toward her and then the video cut off. Whatever the case may be, it don't make a difference. We know that she made it a point to let the camera know she fins to give the drink to the girl. That's what she said, okay? And nonetheless, Kenneka Jenkins, as we see in the videos, out of all them people that was in that room, was the only one toe up like that. Period. She was the only one. We seen the friends in the lobby. We seen them when they was getting ready to leave. We seen them motherfuckers when they was arriving. We only seen one other girl in that whole group that was fucked up like that. And that's the girl who I think or supposedly was sitting in a chair by Kenneka. That was sitting in a chair. That was sitting down, and the other girl was sitting on her lap. Some people said that was Kenneka in that chair, or whatever the case may be. Could have been, looked like it could have been. So I don't put it past it. It ain't too far-fetched at this point. But that was the only other person, as we see, that was fucked up like that. Look at how Kenneka was walking and bumping into the walls and can't hold herself together and all of this shit. But then look at her friends. Look at everybody else in the videos. Nobody else was drunk like that. Nobody else was fucked up like that. Therefore, doesn't matter if we seen them hand her a cup. We off bat know that there was somebody in that fucking party that gave her some shit that she should not have had. And because the girl intentionally let it be known that she was about to hand somebody a cup or hand somebody a drink, the fingers point to her. The fingers point directly to her. So I'm sorry if you feel like if it has to be exactly to the T, and the word and the verbiages and however it needs to come out. Where I don't care about all of that, and I apologize that that's what you consume your mind with. But at the end of the day, my points are my points, and I made them because it's exactly how the fuck I felt and the questions that I needed to understand. The questions that I asked were valid. They were valid questions. I don't understand what the problem is. But I'm not here to fight, and that's the problem. That is the biggest problem, that people tend to forget that this is not about me and you. This is not about my opinion versus your opinion. But the problem is there's too many people out here that want to be a part of something, that they'll be a part of anything, even if that means that you have to attack people and try and demean people or whatever the case may be. Honey, I don't know if you had a bad day, if you made a mistake and wrote something on my video that was meant for somebody. I don't know, and technically I don't know you, and I do not care, okay? But at the end of the day, you said what you had to say, so I'm gonna address it. I'm gonna address it because I can't understand why you felt the need, nor why you felt it was necessary to like pinpoint out the little details. 9 times out of 10, you understand everything that I asked in that video. You understood it. That's why you pinpointed that little small detail, because there was nothing else that you could pinpoint. At that point, we already know that the card is stolen. But again, does that mean that nobody should be held accountable for stealing somebody's fucking card? Even if it's not accountable for the death of Kenneka. Hell, you need to be accountable, again, like I said in the video, for the small shit that was going on. The small illegal shit that was happening in that fucking video. Then I had somebody that said this. And I promise y'all, this it. I ain't gonna go no further into no rant. I just am at a point where I feel like y'all, I'm not gonna say it in my comments, and I'm not gonna, continue to be commenting to you and going back and forth with you. I'm not doing that. You gonna get your ass deleted and blocked, period. Cause I'm not doing that. That's not what I'm here for, and I'm not for that arguing and being aggressive, cause this ain't about you and it ain't about me. It's about a bigger picture, and I don't have time to invest. So this is the only time that I'm gonna give you, so that for the future, when people decide to comment and write, you already know that you're gonna get your ass blocked and deleted, and you're okay with that. So this is an agreement here. We are aware of the steps that will be taken should you act ignorant in my comments. I had another woman, and this lady is not ignorant, and I'm not coming for her aggressively at all. It was just that those other 2 people. But this lady, she made a valid point to me in her comment, even though I was like, and then when she went on to say her comment is, she kind of threw me off with just talking about she's gonna question me or whatever. But I'm gonna read it to y'all. So she said, I have to ask, would you have been a bit nervous calling police and kicking out the party goers? I would have been. If you say no, then I question your answer. Some of those guys were pretty intimidating. Now, okay, I understand that. Like, I 100% understand that. But we come from 2 different backgrounds, apparently. I'm not easily intimidated, and I grew up in the streets of Detroit. So I've been around thugs, gangsters, and all of that shit. I've witnessed motherfuckers. I've been in a drive-by. I've seen a lot of shit in my day and time, so there's not much that intimidates me, and that is just because of my lifestyle, or my past lifestyle. And you may not have had those encounterments in your life, or have ever experienced anything in which caused you to have tough skin. So I can understand where you're coming from, as far as maybe these boys or these people in this video was intimidating to you. But none of them intimidated me at all. And that's no disrespect to them, because clearly they are a part of what they know. Period. They are a part of their environment. They're part of what they know. They're part of the streets of Chicago, because that's all they know. And I ain't not one to knock a motherfucker for what they do. Like, I'm not gonna knock you, I'm not gonna down you, I'm not, none of that. It is what it is. It's the life you chose. I don't have to live it, you do. So, do what you do, and hopefully it's the best suggestion, I'm sorry, it's the best choice that you've ever made for your life, okay? But as far as being intimidated by them, for one, if I worked at the hotel and I was a security guard, that's a part of your job description, hands down. If you yourself are intimidated, then there's not likely to be people that are in that hotel that are your guests that are intimidated. And your job as security is to assure the safety of these people. So at the end of the day, if you're the security guard, that's what you signed up for. You signed up to secure areas in which you are there to protect, and secure people in which you are being paid to protect. That is your job. And no, you should not be afraid. Two, if you are a hotel manager, okay, and you feel a little bit intimidated, or you feel in a certain type of way about this group of individuals, by you calling the police on them does not mean that they're going to know that it was you that called the police. The police don't come and say, hotel manager X, Y, and Z, working shift, blah, 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 called us and said, the police are gonna come and they're just gonna be real clean cut. Hey, we were called on a case of disturbing the peace. We like to understand what the hell going on. Okay? They're not gonna go into details of who called them and what the name of the person was, and none of that. So 9 times out of 10, the kids won't even know that who called, But my whole thing with that is, even if that was the case, okay, let's say that's how you feel, all right? And that's how you feel. I feel differently. Ain't nothing wrong with that, right? However, the whole situation proves that these people were not intimidated. The people there in this situation were clearly not intimidated. So that is not an excuse as to why they did not follow proper protocol. First and foremost, because when they should have called the police, let's say this, when they should have put those kids out of that room was when they had to go up to that room and tell them to quiet down. First and foremost, I'm almost 100% sure that they were smoking, and you definitely seen the girl smoking, in the camera. You definitely seen her smoking. So this is a in act blunt that's being lit. And I don't know where you're from, but I know that shit is potent. You can smell that shit from a mile away, okay? When you smell it, So when that security and or manager or whatever came to that door, the first thing that you would have picked up on is the fact that they were in this room with illegal drugs. You should have called the police right then and there. Because now it is not just a threat to your hotel, but it's a threat to the environment of other people within my hotel. Not only that, it is the fact that while you are under the influence, I'm not sure how many of you are going to be leaving this building and driving. I'm not sure of that. So I'm not trying to be a part of or looked at as a criminal or not doing my job because y'all leave this building and get into a car accident, which happened. Okay? That actually happened. And had the security guard called the police or the manager called the police, it could have been prevented. It could have been prevented. And a lot of the shit that happened that night could have been prevented because you would have called and the police would have came, authority came or whatever. And most of them kids would have been through in jail because they were intoxicated. And the other ones probably would have went to jail because they would have got checked. The police probably would have checked them. Alright, so at the end of the day, I'd rather be safe than sorry. And I think, what if it was my child? What if this is my child in his room at a hotel and these kids are doing all of this craziness? I would want somebody to step up and do the right thing, even if that costs my son some time in jail behind bars, because his ass shouldn't have been doing this shit to begin with. But these people at the hotel has proven, and here's the facts, that they were not intimidated by this group of kids, because when the kids came down to ask them about Kenneka, they in their face told them to leave that hotel or they were going to call the police. They told them this shit to their face. So you're not intimidated by these people. Because you're not going to sit here and threaten to call the police on somebody that you're scared of. You're not going to tell them dead on to their face, you this motherfucker scared of them. You know, intimidated that you don't want to get involved with the law, but you gonna sit in their face and tell them that you gonna call the police if they don't leave for asking you questions about their friend. They were not intimidated. They were not intimidated. What they were was negligent. And they neglected the fact that this whole entire situation could have been or should have been shut down when it started. A few hours prior to. It should have been shut down. They were neglectful and they were negligent. So I don't give a damn what nobody say about being scared or anything like that. Even if that was the case, that's you. But clearly these people, they were not. They were not scared. So that's what I want to say about this whole that's all I wanted to come to you guys and talk to you about as far as my comments and stuff, because I just need to address it, because it's almost like I keep getting the same comments, but some people come across as if they're trying to help me, and then others are coming across as if you're trying to attack me. So I just wanted to before somebody else comment and say, well, the credit card was stolen, I want y'all to understand that don't mean a damn thing. Okay, that the credit card was stolen. That credit card and that credit card in that room travels, and it's in connect with somebody. Okay, in connect to somebody who showed ID that night. And if they were to say they put in an Irene name and the car was stolen by somebody else, Irene gonna let them know that this person was the one who called and put the fucking card on file, because she's gonna go to jail. That's a felony. I don't know if is that a felony? I don't know what it is, but it's against the law. And I know it's identity theft. And if she didn't want to go to jail by turning herself in, she went there to turn herself in. You know damn well she would have snitched and said some shit about the person who got that room and purchased it for her. So it don't matter whether the car was stolen or not. That just makes it even worse. As to why the fuck nobody has been held accountable. Even the motherfuckers that stole this credit card. Alright, so that's just that. Like, I don't want to keep hearing about the credit card being stolen, because people have to really sit down and understand what you're saying. Because even at the end of the day, that doesn't change the fact that nobody is being held accountable for their illegal actions. It actually intensifies the situation, and in a sense of saying this is exactly the reason why somebody at this point should have been held accountable. So yeah, you guys, that's all I wanted to come and tell you guys. I know I've heard about this new situation with this boy in Crown Plaza Hotel in Houston, Texas. I want to send my condolences and my love to their family. I don't know much about this case yet. It hasn't been a lot of information given. However, I will make a video as regards to what I feel is going on here. And although, you know, a lot of people may not see it in the way that I'm seeing it, but I definitely want to share what I think is happening, because it's like by them doing this, it's like a slap in the fucking face. I'm not even gonna hold you up. It's a slap in the face to everybody who is out here rooting for justice for Kenneka. It's a slap in the face, and I'll tell you guys why when I make that video. But until then, thank you guys again for all the love, and all of those of you who have been very positive in the comment section. Thank you so much for all of your support. And yeah, don't forget to hit that bell so that you don't miss my uploads coming up here regarding the new situations and my thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you can support and we can keep this going.